Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of VenTalk. And today we'll be talking about Patience Part 2. And as always, we have our venerable Jonathan in the house.
Good evening, everyone.
And of course, Zhao and I, who is from Wisdom United. Hello, everybody. Okay, as mentioned, Patience Part 2. So, a recap. So, what is the definition of patience through Google? Okay, so it's the ability to wait or to continue doing something despite difficulties or to suffer without complaining or becoming annoyed. So, let's say you live in a 50 floor HDB, you have to wait for the elevator patiently. So, that is the most simplest example that I can give. So, and how about Zihao? What are your definitions of patience?
So thank you, Nick, for the Google definition. So for me, I think that patience is actually the capability in tolerating all kinds of delays in our life. So even though we actually experience a delay, so our emotion can still remain calm and not be affected by it. So one example we can actually relate to our daily life would be waiting for the train. So sometimes there's delays and breakdowns that happen occasionally. So in that situation, we can actually remain calm and also continue to wait for the next train. Yeah.
Yes, that's a very, very good example. Now, moving on, Masu, so what is the definition of patience through the teachings?
Okay, so the definition of patience is disregarding harm done to you, accepting the suffering arises in your mind stream, and being certain about the teachings and firmly maintaining belief in them. So yes, these are the definitions of practicing patience.
Wow, this definition of patience is definitely not the norm as what we found on Google. And through this definition, we'll be talking about case studies that will be coming up soon. So let's go to it. And in these case studies, we'll be presenting in the following: before learning the teaching and after learning the teaching. So the first one of the case studies, okay, this will be distributed into three levels. And the first topic will be emotions.
Okay, so let's see how much you guys have changed. Right, so for the first level, entry level, level one. Okay, so after work or after school, you're going home. Then once you reach home, you look at your comfy sofa and you sit down on your comfy sofa, relaxing. But then I think your parents misunderstood you and they started to nag at you constantly. So one at the right and one at the left. So they keep on nagging at you. So how would you react to this situation? So who wants to answer this question first?
I think possibly, I think let Zihao answer this first. Let me think a while.
Okay, Zihao.
Okay,
Let's
sure,
go.
definitely. So before I learn the teaching, I will actually feel very annoyed. How come like I have a very long day already and then finally I can relax. So you all still keep on nagging on me. So I will definitely feel very annoyed and start to talk back to them. And even in some cases, I will actually yell at them as well. But then after learning the teaching, I realized that by yelling back at them is actually not being failure. So it also hurt their feelings as well. So I come to think about it, our parents actually nag at us because they want to benefit us. So they won't want to harm us because they want to nag. So yeah, I think I will just listen and just keep quiet while they nagging. So how about Nick? How about you?
Wow, my turn. Okay, before the teachings, okay, I'll definitely be angry. I will definitely show an angry face because I've been misunderstood, right? Okay, what's the feeling of getting misunderstood and all of them suddenly just blame you and think that it's your problem? You won't feel good, okay? It's a very, very sour feeling. Okay, and one good example, okay, where I was working and doing some lala move with my partner, okay, and because due to misunderstanding, miscommunications, we just quarrel. End up, you know what happened? Our relationship got affected. There is no joy and happiness. End up not earning any kind of money. So more and more suffering, right? So after the teachings, okay, Nicholas, a smarter man already, a smarter boy down here. So learning the teachings actually helps us to check on ourselves. Hey, how come through these parents, through constantly nagging, how come your affliction arise, your emotion arise? They actually nag because they're actually concerned for you. Imagine, right, out of no, let's say they stop nagging at you. Wouldn't that feel very weird? Okay, because like suddenly they don't care about you already. So that is not something that we want. We want someone who always constantly care for me. So through listening their nagging and through respecting them, okay, we cultivate these good habits. After they finish their nagging, okay, because we are misunderstood, we have to explain to them our views, what happened to this situation, whether you did that or not, right? So we clear up all these doubts and misunderstandings, and in the end, in the end, maybe your parents may even apologize to you that that it's actually their fault to nag. And yeah, in the end, good relationship, happy family, happy life.
All right, thank you, Nick. And also, you look very handsome without being angry. Okay, so rejoice on the improvement. And I think the very important things for us to do is why why do our parents nag at us? So this is something that we have to contemplate about. Is it because they dislike us or because they love us? So if we can contemplate on this question, right, then I think half the problem is solved, or the problem is already not there anymore. So our parent wants the best for us and they're trying their very best to help us. So let's take as an example. So for example, if you go down the street and you saw a stranger, will you actually go to the stranger and nag at the stranger because you see that person doing something that you know that in the end that person will suffer, or you just walk away? So I think most of us will just walk away because that person is not related to us. So why do our parents want to use all their effort in talking to us if they do not love us? So this is something that we have to know. Our parents love us, so this is why they are spending a lot of effort talking to us. And when you talk about being handsome just now, no, if you're not angry, right, you actually looks better, and not just in this life. So based on the karma perspective, right, if you practice patience, then you will look good in your next life and many more life. So you will look pleasing. So what does that mean? So if you notice, right, if you look at someone, no matter how long you stare at that person, you still feel that, oh, that person is so good to look at. So that is the advantages of practicing patience. Okay, so level 1, I think easy for you guys. Let us up another level, level 2. So after school, you found that you have lost your bag. So you cannot find your bag. Where is your bag? And what happened next is your laptop, your MacBook, and your phone are inside the bag. So you panic. So you ran out of the school and you saw your friends. That person looked very familiar. So that person is like Tom. Okay, so for example, your friend Tom, he took your bag and threw it in the river. Then your bag just go with the flow. Goodbye to rubbish bin. Okay, so what are you gonna do when you found this? When you found out that your friend took your bag and threw it into the river?
Hey, Pastor, this one you give me the opportunity to answer this one first. Okay, for this kind of situation, I'll definitely definitely rage. Okay, because rage is the first point. The second point is any triggers that will allow me to become physical. Okay, anything that's gonna hit me one more time, I'm gonna be very physical already. Because why? Because I see the phone, the laptop as part of me. I don't see it as an attachment. Okay, so imagine Tom just threw your stuff away, and it's a part of you. You definitely feel very upset, right? Because Tom is also your friend, and you just throw it like that. Why are you doing that to me? So emotions and affliction straight away arise. But however, after knowing the teachings, okay, we know that hey, phones and laptop is a part of attachment. It's not a part of you. Okay, what is the point of getting angry, right? Because getting angry, you make yourself suffer. And plus, why do I need to make my friend suffer? Okay, because you punch him, then what if Tom also called the police, end up suffering by myself? Why? Okay, no point again. So if you already know that the phone and laptop is already thrown and it can't be found, it's already one factor. Why do you want to make the anger a second factor to cause yourself double damage? It's not smart at all, right? So, and we know the topic about karma. Why Tom does this is probably maybe because of the past karma that we actually done. We actually, maybe I myself actually threw my friend's phone and laptop in the past life. So in the end, coming back to back at me at this life. So this is an opportunity to actually practice patience. Yeah. So how about you?
Whoa. All right. So, okay. So I will actually have the same feeling as what Nick have feel lah, because I will definitely feel very rich, and then I will try to confront my friend, and eventually want him to pay back all the MacBook and the phone inside the bag, because I've actually lost it, so I would definitely want him to pay back. And eventually I will actually break ties with him, not talk to him anymore, and even I see him, I will try to like give him an ugly face or what. So, but then after learning the teaching, then I will realize that there's no point because showing anger to him is not very good. So I think that probably he could be facing some other issues which I didn't actually go and concern about him. So, or maybe he heard some rumors from other friends or maybe my enemies to actually tell that, oh, there's something about me that and then he's out of that thought, that moment, he just want to throw my back. So maybe I should maybe change my my view, and then to go and concern my friend instead.
Okay, so wow, very nice, man. All right, so I think for this situation, it helped us practice impermanence. So yes, things don't last forever. So sooner or later, we have to change our phone, we have to change our laptop. And how long can our phone last? Maybe three years, 2 years, 5 years, or how long can our laptop last? Okay, but of course, saying this is easy, but then if this happened in your life, then you have to try to find ways to overcome it. But what I want to say is, our phone and laptop only last for a few years. But then if we manage to save the friendship, or we manage to help that person to change, I think this lasts for his life and my life, our life. Okay, so it lasts much more longer than just the technologies that like phone and MacBook. So I think helping him to change is a much better things to do. Okay, and it's not just about this lifetime. If we help him to change, right, our relationship will be better in the next lifetime as well because of the karmic bond. Okay, so I think we have to make the right decision on what we want to do. Do we want to suffer more and make him suffer, and at the end of the day, both of us suffer together, or we can change the perspective? Okay, so that's something for us to think about. Okay, but then now move on to level 3. Level 3 is really not easy. I think we need to see the slides. Come, Nick, show us. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, if you guys can see this slide, this dog is called Xiao Bao. Okay, it's so cute. Oh, Xiao Bao. Okay, so you bought Xiao Bao home like when he was very young. You can see before and after photo. So you name your pet dog Xiao Bao, and after 10 years, 8 months and 25 days, so 25 days, 10 years, 8 months and 25 days. Okay, Xiao Bao is a very well-trained dog, and he can settle his own business alone. So means he can go downstairs alone and come back. Okay, so he's very well-trained. So on Xiao Bao's birthday, you bought a cake for him. So you reached home at 6 p.m. But then Xiao Bao didn't come home. Right, you wait until 10:30 p.m. And I think during that time, very panicked. So you went downstairs and checked and looked around, and you saw that person very familiar. Who is it? It's Tom, your best friend. Sorry, Tom. But then, it's Tom, your best friend. And you saw Tom put Xiao Bao into a garbage bag and kicking him. So what are you gonna do?
Give me the opportunity to answer this question again. Level 3. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. Okay. Have any one of you heard Pei Mao Tui? Okay, Pei Mao Tui, this is a Chinese term that defines a person who runs very fast. I'll run straight up to the person and then give Tom a flying kick. Okay, that is who I was before I know the teachings. Because at home, my patience has been long gone by waiting Xiao Bao at home. And by then, my emotions and afflictions is already at the peak. So another trigger, wow, such big trigger, try to cause some actions to and hurt for my baby Xiaobao. You know, my heart will be such in the pain. Okay, so this by doing so, this caused terrible karma for myself because I actually injured the person through physical actions. And after knowing the teachings, okay, still not at a high level yet, I will still have emotion. I will still be emotionally angry, okay, but I'll use moral ways to handle this issue. Maybe report the police for animal abuse. Use the law to handle this because this is actually allowing me to practice compassion and to cultivate patience. Okay, because compassion to Tom. Don't use physical fights to hurt him, and use the laws to use the law to handle the situation instead. And we have to be smart because this may be cause our negative karma, past negative karma, or maybe even Tom wants me to suffer, so he's just waiting for an opportunity for Xiaobao to calm down. So do not be fooled, okay, if those people who wants you to suffer. So be smart, and by doing so, this allow me to develop the patience of disregarding harm done to me. Okay, develop patience to stop myself from suffering, and because this is the fault of their afflictions, therefore such actions. How about you, Zihao?
Good thought from Nick. So in the past, right, I will actually definitely see Xiaobao being bullied by my friend. I will definitely run towards my Xiaobao and actually save him first. But then eventually, after the event, I will actually find different ways to actually revenge onto my friend. If let's say my friend have a cat or a dog, so I will actually definitely find his cat and dog and then beat back the dog again. But I think that this is definitely wrong after learning the teaching. Revenge is not a good way to actually solve this problem. So I think that maybe because what done is already done, so we can maybe look for the remedies. Like maybe ask, instead of getting revenge, maybe if I want my friend to do something, maybe ask him to bring my pet to the vet to actually solve the injury, and also bring for regular appointment and all those stuff instead of causing more harm to each other, and then this will never end. So I think I should practice this patience, and actually at the same time maintain the friendship with my friends.
Okay, thank you so much, Zihao. So I think this is a very tough question, right? It's not easy to answer because if you have a pet at home, then you know that the feeling, your connection between you and your pet, it's very hard to describe. Alright, so I think same as the answer above, the other question about the friendship. Do we want to mend the friendship, or do we want to just break the friendship and cause each other to suffer? So this is something that we have to think about. So even if we beat Tom or we scold him, we can't change back time or we can't turn back time. I mean, Xiaobao is already in this state. There's nothing much we can do to turn back time. So beating him won't change anything. And as we know, just now we stated that no, Tom is our best friend. So if he's our best friend, right, then we should have a certain degree of bonding with him. Then can we really try to change him to a better person? This is very important. So for this question, right, I think education is very important. We have to educate him. Hopefully he can change to a better person. If not, then we have to think in another perspective, as what Nick say. No, Tom do this, is it because he want to cause us to suffer? So if he really want us to suffer and we fall into his trap and beat him and cause a lot of suffering, and I myself have depression and all that, then that means he has won the battle. So if he want us to suffer, we shouldn't get affected by him. Okay, so that is something that we can think about. Alright, so after this, we'll move on to workload. So this is about the emotions. Okay, so the other part is about workload. So workload for level 1, this is easier, okay, easier. So you're a leader of a group project and everyone expect you to do everything. Because you're the leader, then they think that, oh, you're the leader, you have to do everything, you have to carry us. So what are you going to do? So Zihao, do you want to answer the question?
definitely I would like to go first.
All right.
So, basically, I would have thought that it'll be so unfair for me because in a group project, everyone has a shared responsibility. So, but then I shouldn't be keep on thinking that you must share the responsibility because as a leader, probably I can still for myself I will still continue on with the project because no point thinking that wow, this is so unfair, this is so unfair, and then every day you'll be thinking that and then the project eventually will be hold up because of our thoughts, and then our team members also don't want to do it. So eventually everyone will fail together. So I think that maybe I should change my mindset about this. How about Nick?
Nice. Okay, my turn. Okay, before the teachings, I'll be like, oh man, why do I have to be in such a situation? I'll definitely be complaining because I know my limitations. I can't handle every single part of the project. And by doing so, this is not a beneficial mindset for the project because everyone should be putting their best to produce a very, very good project. If only by myself, which is so limited by one brain, definitely wouldn't produce a better result than a group of brains, right? So I won't be able to handle such tasks and given to me and lose my patience instantly. But after the teachings, right, okay, I'll develop the patience of disregarding harm done to me. Maybe because the project mates don't like me, that's why they put everything on me. And maybe this is also karma, and therefore I will accept my fate. And if I can change the case study a bit, I will distribute accordingly, irregardless. I'll just distribute, do my part well as my leader, because I know if I don't do this, I will burn out. Yeah, so that's how I'll handle level 1.
Okay, thank you, Nick and Zihao. So even though sometimes you will feel that, no, I will be very angry, but then ultimately, I think you guys still want to do the projects and you guys still want to score good marks for them. Okay, so first of all, we need to see whether our members have the ability to complete the task that's given to them. So that's the first thing. And if you know that they have the ability to complete, but then they just don't want to complete or they just don't want to do, I think we have to find different ways to understand them. Maybe is it like family problems, relationship problems, or they have other problems that they are facing in life. And if they really don't want to do, then I think we have to use the teachings, which is practice patience. So last VenTalk, we have talked about this. So if you initially develop a significant degree of courage, so you have this courage that no matter what, I will still do it on my own. Okay, then even great suffering becomes helpful. So it will become a fuel for you to continue to work forward and motivate you even more. So it's just like the case of warriors entering a battle using the sight of their own blood to increase their bonus. So after completing this project, right, and you will feel that I have this ability to continue to do more things. So actually this one makes you into a great man. All right, so this is level 1. Move on to level 2. Okay, so once after you're a great man, after you completed the projects alone, okay, then you saw your project mates complaining to your teacher, saying that you are not a good leader. After 2 months, you receive your results. They got A and you have B+. So they actually scored better than you are. So what are you gonna do? Right, Zihao.
Well, okay, so actually quite similar to the previous case. I actually feel that it's so unfair for me, because I do all the work, so I should definitely enjoy a higher score, right? It's not the other way around. But then I personally encountered that during my university days, and then eventually everyone start shooting harsh and nasty words in the group chat. So eventually the lecturer also came in, and then which is very not pleasant for everyone. Eventually everyone just break apart and never contact each other already. So in the future, when it comes to project, then we got to find new teammates again. But then after learning the teaching, I find that if I can actually change the situation back then, probably I wouldn't be spending so much time in the group chat, keep on trying to explain myself and maybe lodge a complaint against them for giving such remarks about me. Probably it's because of my own problems. I didn't actually care and actually find out what exactly happened. Then I will actually change myself to be a better leader instead.
Wow, so how a changed man. Now, on my turn answering this question, probably before the teachings, I definitely will be same as how. Okay, definitely find it very unfair. Why don't I do so much work and I don't get A? Then after the teachings, okay, I will definitely know because I know about patience. I'll develop the patience of accepting the suffering. Okay, so I'll just do my best on my level to actually accept the situation. That's what I can do for level 2.
Okay, so back to this from the karma perspective lah. And I think we did something in the past so that no, now we are in this bad situation lah. But then what good about karma is we can change our future. So if you want a brighter future, right, then we plant the right seeds lah. Okay, we don't continue this drama lah. All right. So first, we have to separate your friends from his afflictions. Your friends versus his afflictions. So we have to separate both of them. Okay, so we have to know that which one is the culprit. So you can take yourself as an example. When you're angry, you cannot think clearly. So it means to say that we are the servant of our afflictions. So for them, they are the same. They are the servant of their own afflictions. So if they are under control by afflictions, then we shouldn't be angry, but then we should angry towards the afflictions. Okay, so the most important thing is we don't get roped into this cycle. This is a endless cycle. If we angry, they angry, we scold, you scold, then after that it's endless and everyone is going to suffer. So we break the cycle at our end and just cut. Okay, so last but not least, level 3. Okay, as a leader of a company for more than 15 years, you have contributed a lot of things and deal with a lot of projects. But then every department accuses you. So why do the department accuse you? Okay, so one of your employees, Timmy, made a mistake. He begged you and you forgave him. So he continued to work in the company. But however, he made another huge mistake again. And this caused your whole company and your colleagues to lose their revenues based on your wrong judgment. And during a meeting, because you are a manager, okay, you have a high role, then they voted you out of this company. But then you found out that Timmy is still working in that company and now you're jobless. So what are you going to do? A jobless man.
Okay, Pastor, this one I will go first. Okay, for this case, I tell you before the teaching, I'll definitely blame Timmy for the cause of my sufferings. Okay, I'll just constantly blame. And okay, because before the teachings, I find myself as a very, very evil person. Okay, so I'll find ways to make Timmy suffer. Okay, don't be shocked. Okay, there's a lot of people out there. I'm sure there are people who is like me also. Okay, then adding on, because of this, I will always look ugly. Why? Because I always have a black face. Because I constantly want to blame Timmy over and over again. But after the teachings, okay, maybe this kind of situation is due to my fault. Yeah, so I need to contemplate. So by doing so, I need to cultivate patience. Okay, I need to slowly handle it, slowly analyze the situation. Of course, once you analyze, you accept it, and then you have to move on. Okay? Then by doing so, you cause no harm for anyone, and especially myself. Because I personally believe we are here to make the world a better place and not make it worse. Okay? Control afflictions and emotions. This will make us live smart and happier. How about you, Zihao?
Well, okay. But personally, I have yet to experience more than 15 years in a company yet. But if I were to actually put myself in that situation, I would actually feel very upset because I have already done so much contribution and spent so much effort in a company for 15 years. And yet, because of this particular employee, I'm being kicked out of the company, which is, I couldn't really understand what exactly happened. So I will actually find different ways, like what Nick say. So to find to try to explain to the management that, hey, this guy, employee, is actually doing the fault. It's not my fault. So he should be the one who be kicked out of the company instead of me. But then come to think about it, because after learning the teaching, I realized if I practice patience, I will actually think. Then I realized that because as a leader, we actually have to make sure that our employees have the capability to do a job before we actually give them the task to do. So if they, let's say they make a mistake, it's probably they have lacked the capability. So maybe it's my own fault for not looking into that matter that causes him to make the mistake again. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Zihao. So I think back to this, even though we forgave that person out of compassion, but then as what Zihao says, we also need to measure if that person is in good condition, especially you are a leader for the company. So we can't just forgive anyone and just let him continue to make his mistakes. I think this is also our judgment problem. That may be our judgment problem. So compassion must come together with wisdom. Okay, and based on the past question, right, the level 2 question, we talk about afflictions. So people are self-cherishing, and we make the company lose revenues, so they have to suffer, and their family members also have to suffer. But then we know that if we are controlled by afflictions, there are another saying that when these beings are moved by strong afflictions, they will harm themselves, they stop eating, or even commit suicide. So if we know that affliction is so powerful and humans like us, we are so self-cherishing, but yet we harm ourselves, we can know that definitely they will harm others. Okay, so when we know that, people will actually harm others, and I will also harm others because I have afflictions, so it's time for me to stop everything and look at the bright side because there's nothing much we can do. Once we are out of the company, we are out of the company. We just have to find ways to continue to live a more positive life. So yes, let us go to the summary.
Okay, the summary is, if you realize, through our case studies, before and after teachings, definitely knowing the teachings of patience actually really changed Zihao and I a lot based on our perspective and our thinking. It actually makes us more happier and causes us less suffering. So this is true contemplation of the benefit and the faults of patience. Now, the benefit of patience is definitely you have no enemies and you engage others very easily and you have lesser separations. Happiness and contentment is not a problem and you have no regrets in your life because you are making the world a better place, and last but not least, you will be born in the happy realms. But how about the faults? If you don't practice and cultivate patience, you have a distracted and disturbed mind, you have no joy and happiness, and you have great hatred. So therefore, not having good sleep and etc. Many other negative stuff and sufferings that you will go through. Yeah. So before I end off, there's actually a short announcement that we have to make. So Zihao, let's go.
Sure. So in commemoration of this year Youth Day, VW Monastery will be having our annual youth program, which is called the Youth Mass Prayers Group. So which will actually fall on 4th of July 2021. So it is organized by our BW youth, and we would like to cordially invite all the youths to participate in this event. So do also feel free to invite your friends along as well. So the theme for this year is Buddha Loves You. So on top of that, we got this QR code from now to Vesak Day. You can actually access to our webpage and write down your confession, troubles, reflections, and even appreciations onto our, it's called Padlet, on the confession wall. So also things that you can actually share as a prayer to the Buddha. So let's be blessed with his compassion, wisdom, and courage.
Okay, so I think that's the end of today's session, and really thank you Zihao and Nick for joining us today. And answering this question is not easy, especially from level 1 all the way up to level 3, which is the most difficult one. Alright, so do you guys have anything you want to say?
Definitely, I would like to thank Wisdom United for continuing to spread the teachings. I appreciate it so much to who I become today. And I would like to celebrate with Zihao. Rejoice to you and rejoice to Fasil for having me, for having us in this VenTalk. So we hope to see you guys again. Till next VenTalk. Goodbye, everyone.
See you.